For me, the Shred Druid was definitely one of the worst leveling experiences I've ever had, any class, any build, for any era of Diablo, and I want to talk about why.
Hey everybody, it's Gamer Gramps here. Today we're going to be talking about a build that isn't even on Maxroll's list for leveling guide. That's how shitty they say it is. If you take a look, and ironically, yes, I named my character Raxantarax that I was playing with for my last level, which is, these are the times right here. Okay, so anyway, if you go over to Maxroll's leveling list, this is updated yesterday. Today's the 5th, this was updated the 4th, it says. Anyway, S tier, Minion Necro, Barrage Rogue, Fire Source, etc, etc. You can read, I hope, at this point. But anyway, you look through this here, the closest, fastest thing we have to S tier is a Lightning Storm Druid, according to this. And then Pulverizing Companion are in B tier, followed by Tornado and Landslide in C tier. Okay, so nowhere is Shred on here whatsoever. I don't know if you know, but Rax does not appreciate Shred. Let's just leave it there and continue on with this. It all comes down to he didn't try the poison variant. He listened to his chat. I literally had such a different experience when I was leveling on the PTR that I had to go search out the stream to find out what the fuck happened. Like I said, there's going to be footage going in the background here. I have this build planned out. This was the first Paragon board I ever filled out by myself. I usually follow guides and don't make them for myself. Then I stumbled upon Macro Bio Boy. I usually play Necro, so it was convenient that I found his video where he walked you through how to make a good Paragon board. So then I took my first iteration here and came up with this. And it feels super, super good, trust me. But again, I'm waiting until it actually comes out in case I want to make some last minute changes before I release this stuff. And I will do a full guide specifically for season 5 once I level up with it and have the good footage to show you, because I have some stuff from the PTR, but so much of it was just me dicking around and like experimenting with different things that there's nothing concrete to show you. So the only thing I have to show you is the leveling run I just finished. And so that's the footage that's going to be going on. Other than that, I'll be walking you through the skills I suggest you take as this footage goes on. Again, this thing isn't meant to be long. This is just a quick little summary to hopefully open your eyes to it, and then I'll have something more definite and scripted, and like it's not just going to be me going off the top of my head kind of thing as we go along here. The other thing I guess I should mention is that you can go get 4 out of 5 offensive aspects for this from dungeons. You literally get a 50x multiplier that comes online at level 8 that you can go grab from a dungeon. Then as soon as you find a ring or an amulet, you can equip another damage multiplier that you get from a dungeon. And then by the time you do that, if you go do a 3rd dungeon, it'll time out well that around the build you'll have between levels 18 and 22, you'll basically be you'll basically be fortified permanently, which will then trigger a 3rd one, Aspect of Retaliation, another big damage boost. So again, I'll just quickly go through these skills with you. All right, so this is the order that I would suggest, but again, you do you. I'll briefly touch on the reasons that I suggest these things, but it's up to you whether you want to play around for yourself. I've already figured out a hardcore variant. The long and short, go maul and use Fevered Mauling for defensive aspect, and then that opens up heightened senses for you, which gives you even more damage reduction, plus iron for over here. But again, I'll leave that to you to experiment. I work full time, so tomorrow is my softcore season launch. Then I'm gonna do hardcore on Wednesday and show that the build's capable of easily leveling in hardcore, and then I'll go about my normal week after that. But anyway, let's get back to this here. So I suggest you take Claw going into Poison Claw, so Fierce Claw it's called. The reason behind this is twofold. One, it triggers the movement speed bonus from Digigate, as I call it, which is basically up permanently because you're in werewolf form 99.9% of the time, and that other 0.01 is you're in human form casting a companion and zipping right back into it. So the 3 seconds is more than enough of a window. You'll basically always have this up. So for that reason, I actually like to go for it first. And this is how I spend the 10 skill points. The 3 there, 3 into Digigate, and then believe it or not, I actually go with Raging Shred for the poison one. And I know it's crazy, just hear me out, we'll get there, let me cook. Okay, so the reason I take this, and it's not permanent, I only take it for the early half, is because at level 8, so we're gonna go Heart of the Wild and then Wild Impulses. So then at level 8, after we max up Shred. my bad. This is level 8. I knew I was missing something there. Anyways, so this is level 8. You unlock this tree, the Raskills. And the reason this is so powerful is because of this little node right here, Neurotoxin. So poisoned enemies are slowed by 8%. Once you have that on, you trigger Aspect of the Changeling's Debt, which is a 55% multiplier. So the original, when you get it from the dungeon, is 25. So you throw that on a two-handed weapon and you're looking at 50x damage starting at level 8. And again, this is unlocked from a dungeon. You get Aspect of Changeling's Debt from the Conclave here. You get the Unsatiated aspect from another dungeon. As you can see here, after killing an enemy with Shred, you gain 20 spirit, and then your werewolf skills deal X amount of damage as long as they're cast above 50 spirit. And that's very, very convenient for us because it synergizes with both of our damage dealers, which are Rabies and Shred, because both of them are werewolf skills. And when you combine that with Clarity, which is in our skill tree, and that specifically boosts both Wrath and core skills. So again, Rabies and Shred, and it gives you literally a stackable damage increase, multiplicative damage to the base skill, plus it gives that same amount as critical hit chance, and you can stack it up to 45%, and it is very, very powerful. You combine that with the Pack Leader Spirit boon, and as soon as you start using Lupine Ferocity at level 25 and you have the crit, it's just steadily being reset, and you basically just get into comfortable motion. You use Quick Shift with that as well, which gives you even more damage multiplication. And anyway, it's so fun. Unsatiated is from Tormented Runes, and then the third one we were talking about is unlocked over here in Seaside Descent. And then the fourth one, if you want it, I don't like this thing. I think this is garbage, to be honest. But if you want to go for it, you do you. If you come here and you clear Malnock, then it opens up a dungeon underneath it. That's called Anika's Claim, and that gives you the Stormclaws aspect. But again, I think it's dog shit. I wouldn't advise it. And anyway, then you can also grab two of your defensive aspects, the Aspect of Might and Aspect of Disobedience from dungeons as well. So this is super easy to put together. You do not depend on RNG, and that's why I can't believe so many people are sleeping on it. Okay, but anyway, back to our skill tree. Okay, so that's available at level 8. So then immediately I would go Rabies at level 9, followed by Poison Creeper at level 10, and then I would put the next 2 points into Rabies, going all the way to Natural Rabies. Now, remember that in Season 5, the Natural Rabies we get right here, which spreads 50% faster, is actually being moved to the base skill itself. So once you put 1 point in, you will have that, and this is changing to 70% further. So remember, those combine with each other, and like it's a compounded effect. It feels really, really good. If you played Witch Doctor in Diablo 3, it literally reminds me of Locust Swarm Pestilence. You cast once and it's just like the whole fucking screen's covered. And then when you combine this with Poison Creeper, the poison from your initial builder, and then it's just all over the place. Later on, you get Toxic Claws. It's just, Rabies is basically spammable because you use the Virulent aspect, and yeah, it's pretty much over at this point. Okay, but anyway, so after Rabies, I would put 1 point into Wolf, and then I put 1 into Clarity before going Ravens, and at that point, once you have all 3 of them, then I max Clarity next, followed by Enhanced Wolf Pack into Ferocious Wolf Pack, as this is what gives you the fortification, which triggers that aspect of retaliation we talked about. And then at that point, I pop down to Brutal Ravens, and then I think, and again, this is me ballparking, I'm 2 away from there. So yeah, I go Quick Shift, Natural Fortitude, Defensive Posture, Lupine Ferocity. Once this is unlocked, now I prioritize Envenom and Toxic Claws. So I start by going 1 of each, then Envenom all the way, then finish up with that. You'll notice really quickly that at this point, it really doesn't, it's up to you. Like, it's not going to make or break which way you go, but because I like to push fast, I go Defensive Posture first, and then finish Quick Shift. I actually finished Neurotoxin because that extra slow actually helps stagger bosses faster. So I found those 2 points to be significantly worth it. After that, I usually come up here and finish Wild Impulses to finish out my core damage. Go for resources with Ancestral Fortitude. Or sorry, Resistances, I mean. And then the 2 extra points eventually into here for Brutal, and it just gives you extra crit chance when you're doing them. And yeah, then you can come down here, and I highly recommend Unrestrained. This is really nice. It gives you 30% reduction of control impairing effects, and then you couple this with this one right here, Advantageous Beast, 15% movement speed and impairment reduction. It's nice. Awareness is also nice, but again, the most important one is right here, Pack Leader. So Again, hypothetically, if you had all of these unlocked, I would suggest, okay, the first 25 is always pack leader without saying, no matter what. Then ultimately it's up to you what you go for. I generally go for Iron Feather and Wariness for the fight against the curator. Then I switch into advantages beast after he's done for like normal killing. Then eventually you save up 100, at which point I take like Maso stick or however you pronounce that, and then finish up these. And I usually roll like for the spirit bonding thing that you choose 2 of them. I like to choose Wariness and Advantages Beast, but that's just me. Really, you can do anything you want as long as you have pack leader pick. This is the only one that matters. Do what the fuck you want for the rest of it. That's pretty much it. This, I don't know if I actually did mention at the start. So this right here is the time I just finished leveling with literally with this exact character. However, the times that I was going up against are from a minion based S tier necromancer guide that I followed directly from Maxroll. Just, I know how I would actually play it differently. I wouldn't follow their guide, but anyway, I followed it just to prove the point to be able to say that I did and to have that direct comparison. If you've lasted this long, hats off to you. I hope you found this helpful. It's just a little preview of the build. I will have something that's scripted and me not just rambling on like this, and it will be up on the channel very shortly because like I said, I plan to level at least to 55 on Wednesday and get that guide out. That's my plan. So anyway, I'm just gonna shut up now and hopefully I see you in the next video.